Hey guys, it's Terrence here with fishnetproductions.com. Hope you guys are having a great day. Listen, I want to talk a little bit today about how perfection is killing your mixes and your creativity. Now, it's true. We all want perfect mixes. We all want our mixes to be great. We want them to stand out. We want them to, be a good representation of who we are. And that's all good and well. But the perfectionist attitude says that, I have to do everything right. I have to do, say, and get and act and do everything as it pertains to my music and my mixes right in order to not be judged negatively by others, because we want to avoid judgment. That's the whole thing that perfection is about. So what inevitably happens because of that, we spend countless hours. We spend so much time trying to tweak and, get certain things right outside of, the knowledge of what we may currently have at the current time. So, and this is saying something different again. So don't hear me wrong. This is not saying that we shouldn't strive for excellence. I think excellence is a completely different thing. But it's this perfectionist attitude that I'm talking about that gets us to this state. Again, we spend countless hours, days, years, even weeks, even years to, try to get something right. And then what happens is we never get to the point to where we're ready to release anything. We stay in our studios mixing hours on end, and it's like nothing ever comes of it. We get a little better, but all we're doing, we're staying on these YouTube channels and watching tutorials and, trying to understand how certain people are doing certain things in their mixes. And then we try to take those tips back and apply them to our mixes. They probably don't work because the tools and the tips were in the context of what the mixing engineer was doing with their mix. And it's not to say that some don't work, and it's not to say that you can't learn from videos like that, because you can, and I actually do videos like that, so you can learn. But I think, again, it's just this perfectionist attitude that we layer over that and say that, if I'm doing what the great mixers are doing, and if I'm doing how they're doing it, my stuff is going to come out better or perfect. And it just doesn't happen. So again, we spend countless time trying to make that happen. So, I mean, I'm speaking personally for myself. I've been known to sit on stuff, especially when I first started mixing and mastering and things of that nature. I remember sitting on a project for a complete 3 or 4 years before I even let anybody hear it, because I was in this mode of like, it has to be right. It has to sound good before anybody can hear it. And what eventually happened was I got frustrated. I dropped it for, months on end, because every time I would mix it, wake up the next day, get in the car, it sounds completely different than what I had thought it sounded in my studio, which is, something I know we all can relate to. But again, it wasn't until I realized, listen, my stuff doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be what my representation of excellence is at the moment. It has to be a representation of my current understanding of how I know how to mix and what I know how to do. And that's really all we can do anyway. And we have to not be afraid to, be judged by that. Because here's the thing, guys, the whole perfectionist attitude kind of requires us to, or says that, we're trying to avoid judgment, but it never really happens anyway. I mean, like, no matter what we do, and I'm sure you guys can relate to that, no matter what we do, how we do it, there's always going to be somebody who judges you negatively just because of who they are. It's not about your work per se. There are just negative people out there who are just, live for stuff like that. I always give an example. I said, you could literally be saving dying babies 24 hours a day, 7 days a week in, some third world country or something like that. And then there will be somebody who will complain and judge you about how you're doing it. It's just a fact of life, guys. So we can't, in those terms, we can't avoid judgment. So I think in some ways, we should welcome it. And we should get used to the idea that we're going to be judged one way or the other. And that shouldn't control or stop our actions in, trying to release our music, doing mixes and letting other people hear it and all of that kind of stuff. So again, the moral to all of this, guys, is get your music out. If you have something that you're doing, if you have something that you're mixing, don't be afraid to let people hear it. Get it out. Put it on iTunes if that's what your dream or goal is for your music, or put it on a YouTube video or shoot a music video. Do it, guys. Make it happen, because life is too short for us to be sitting around, you know, in our cocoons and being scared about who is going to judge us and who's not going to judge us. So anyway, guys, I hope that this inspires you. That was the purpose of this video, to talk a little bit about that. I know that perfectionist attitude was something that kind of plagued me for a very, very, very long time, and it wasn't until I kind of broke out of it, until I could see the light, because I didn't have anybody to say to me what I'm saying to you guys in this video. So again, I hope this is inspiring to you. I hope it helps you to make some great music. I hope it helps you to put out your music and not be afraid to do what it is you want to do with your mixes and your music, and not be afraid to be an individual person, who you are, and who you are for yourself, period. All right, guys, so that said, I'll end the video here. Listen, make sure you go jump in the comment section and let me know what you think about this. Let me know if this perfectionist attitude is something that you've dealt with, something that has kind of plagued you like it has me in the past, and things of that nature. Also, listen, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, make sure you do that. I'm going to be putting out a lot more videos. I always put out stuff with mixing tips, mastering tips, and just talk tips of this nature, where we can have an area to talk in terms of these kind of things. So you're not going to want to miss these videos. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. Pass it along to your mixing friends if they haven't subscribed to the channel yet. And I'll see you guys in the next video.